Listen up because the auto judge is in session and I'm about to hand down a life-changing verdict. Let me ask you something real quick. What if I told you there are SUVs out there that mechanics do not hate because they are hard to fix? They hate them because they never see them again. It is like being a doctor for a patient who only shows up to brag about how healthy they are. The first one on this list will make you question every bad car decision you have ever made, like that time you thought buying a luxury German SUV out of warranty was a smart financial move. Spoiler alert, it was not. And the last one on my list. That one might actually outlive your retirement plan and your favorite pair of lawn mowing shoes. Welcome to the Auto Judge. I have spent years under hoods and in courtrooms of public opinion, and I am here to talk about vehicles that refuse to die, laugh at planned obsolescence, and treat 300,000 miles like a light jog around the block. We are talking about cars built by engineers who clearly loved their mothers and wanted them to get home safe. This list is not here to be polite to the manufacturers who want you to trade in your car every 3 years. Before we dive into the mechanical secrets that the big brands do not want you to know, do me a favor. If you are tired of your car having more warning lights than a Christmas tree, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and drop a comment below telling me the highest mileage you have ever seen on an odometer. It helps the channel reach more people who are tired of being stranded on the side of the interstate. Honda CR-V. Alright, let's start with a vehicle so reliable it makes other SUVs look like disposable electronics. The Honda CR-V. This is the SUV equivalent of that one coworker who never calls in sick, never shows up late, and somehow still has energy after work to go for a 5-mile run. Annoying? Maybe. Impressive? Absolutely. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, yeah, it is a Honda, we get it, stop right there. Because the CR-V is not just riding on a brand reputation. It earned it in the trenches of suburbia. We are talking especially about CR-Vs from the late 2010s, but honestly, this story goes way back. These things have been quietly stacking miles since the late 1990s like it is their full-time job. Under the hood, Honda did not chase flashy numbers or marketing buzzwords that sound like a tech startup. Most CR-Vs came with Honda's legendary 4-cylinder engines, with the 2.4-liter naturally aspirated engine being the real hero here. No turbos begging for premium fuel, no overcomplicated nonsense that requires a degree in nuclear physics to repair. Just an engine that wakes up every morning, does its job, and does not complain. Honda designed this motor with conservative compression ratios, oversized cooling systems, and oil passages that look like they were designed by someone who does not trust humans to change their oil on time. And honestly, that is fair. I have seen humans do things to engines that would make a grown man cry. I have seen CR-Vs with 200,000 miles where the engine bay still looks cleaner than my kitchen floor. Crosshatch marks are still visible in the cylinders, and the valve trains are quiet enough to make you nervous that something is wrong, except nothing is. And let's talk transmissions, because this is where most SUVs go to die and enter the great scrapyard in the sky. Honda somehow figured out how to make transmissions that do not explode the moment the warranty ends. Whether you are talking about the older 5-speed automatics or the newer CVTs, these gearboxes are tuned for one thing: survival. Are they exciting? No. Are they fast? Absolutely not. My grandmother's motorized wheelchair has more kick. But they are built with internal components rated for way more torque than the engine ever produces. Translation: the transmission is basically bored all the time, and bored parts last forever. Perform regular fluid changes, and by regular, I mean whenever you actually remember, and these transmissions will outlive most marriages. Fuel economy is where the CR-V quietly flexes. Depending on the year, you are looking at around 28 to 34 miles per gallon combined. For an SUV that can haul people, dogs, groceries, and your poor life choices, that is borderline disrespectful to gas stations. The all-wheel drive system is simple, and that is why it works. The CR-V's real-time system is not pretending to be a rock crawler. It is there for rain, snow, and that icy parking lot your boss refuses to salt because he is cheap. The CR-V is engineered for people who do not care about cars, and that is actually genius. The air filter is right there. The oil dipstick is bright yellow like a kindergarten toy. You can change the cabin filter behind the glove box in 30 seconds with no tools. Honda assumed the owner might ignore maintenance and built the car tough enough to survive it anyway. That is not laziness. That is understanding your customer. Everything inside keeps working, which is refreshing in a world where half the dashboard is a touchscreen waiting to glitch. And the resale value is absolutely ridiculous. A 5-year-old CR-V still sells for money that makes other brands cry themselves to sleep. Mitsubishi Montero. Now we leave suburbia and enter the territory of a machine that was absolutely not built for Target parking lots. The Mitsubishi Montero, or Pajero, if you are literally anywhere else on planet Earth because Mitsubishi decided confusing Americans would be a fun hobby. This is the SUV that aid workers drive through war zones. This is the vehicle explorer's take where Google Maps just gives up and says, "You are on your own, buddy." It looks at modern crossovers and says, "That is cute. Does it come with a matching purse?" And here is the secret the judge is letting you in on. Mitsubishi did not design this thing to be popular. They designed it to survive. Back in the 1990s and early 2000 years, Mitsubishi was deep into rally racing. We are talking about the Dakar Rally, one of the most brutal motorsport events on the face of the earth. Heat, sand, rocks, and zero mercy. Instead of just racing something cool, Mitsubishi basically said, "Let's sell this tank to normal people." 12 Dakar wins. 12. That is not marketing. That is pure, unadulterated domination. Under the hood, depending on the year, you are getting either a 3.0-liter V6 or the legendary 3.8-liter V6. Let me be very clear, these engines are not impressive on paper. They have the horsepower of a very motivated lawnmower. And that is exactly why they last forever. No tiny turbochargers screaming for mercy like a teenager at a horror movie. No experimental tech. Just cast iron blocks and conservative tuning. Mitsubishi built these motors assuming the fuel quality might be questionable and maintenance might be optional. 400,000 miles is not an internet legend here. It is just Tuesday for a Montero. The transmission is a 4-speed automatic that looks ancient by today's standards. And again, that is the magic. Fewer gears mean fewer clutches and fewer things to break. The torque converter is massive, and the cooling is total overkill. Transmission shops barely see these things, and when they do, the mechanic usually asks to take a picture because it is so rare. Now, let's talk about the thing that separates the Montero from mall crawlers pretending to be tough: Super Select 4-wheel drive. This is not fake all-wheel drive with a fancy plastic button. This is real mechanical locking 4-wheel drive. You can run it in 2-wheel drive, full-time 4-wheel drive, or lock the center differential when things get spicy. And yes, you can engage it at highway speeds because Mitsubishi assumed you actually know what you are doing behind the wheel. The frame is steel thick enough to make rust take 40 years to even think about showing up. Inside, let's not lie to ourselves, it is old school. It has hard plastics and buttons that feel like they came off a 1980s microwave. The infotainment belongs in a museum next to the cassette tapes. But guess what? Everything still works 20 years later. No rattles, no weird electronic demons, and enough cargo room to laugh at camping gear, tools, or that one friend who is always moving and never has beer ready. You can find parts for these almost anywhere. Rural Africa? No problem. South America? Easy. Try that with a modern luxury SUV that needs a software update just to open the hood. You might get 15 to 18 miles per gallon, but when your SUV can outlive civilizations, you forgive it for being thirsty. Toyota RAV4. Now we talk about the vehicle that mechanics recognize from across the parking lot and immediately sigh because they know they will not be making any boat payments off your repair bills. The Toyota RAV4. Yes, that RAV4. The one everyone calls boring right before it outlives their entire family tree. This thing is not just reliable. It is aggressively reliable. It is like it wakes up every morning and chooses violence against the very concept of a breakdown. People love to say, "Oh, it is just a Toyota." Yeah, and that is the problem for the repair shops, because Toyota quietly perfected the art of building cars that simply refuse to fall apart. Let's talk engines because this is where the sorcery starts. Most RAV4s, especially from the mid-2010s, run Toyota's 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine. Naturally aspirated, no drama, no nonsense. This engine has fewer moving parts than a game of checkers, which means fewer excuses to break. Toyota engineered it with tolerances so conservative it is basically bored all the time. It runs cool, stays clean internally, and ages like a well-seasoned cast iron skillet. I have seen documented cases of RAV4s running with oil that looks like a melted chocolate bar and air filters hosting entire bird families, and the engine still fires up like it just rolled off the assembly line. The transmission is another area where Toyota keeps it simple and overbuilt. Whether it is the older 6-speed automatic or the newer 8-speed, these gearboxes are not here for excitement. They are here for survival. They offer smooth shifts, massive cooling capacity, and internal components rated for far more abuse than the engine can actually dish out. These transmissions do not slip, they do not shudder, they just exist quietly forever. Toyota does not stop at the big stuff. They over-engineer the boring parts that nobody talks about in commercials. The suspension bushings are overbuilt, the wheel bearings are rated for way more load than necessary, and the alternator produces more power than the vehicle ever asks for. It is like Toyota went full submarine mode with the rust protection too. I have seen 20-year-old RAV4s from the Midwest where they salt the roads like they are seasoning a steak, and the frames are still solid. And do not even get me started on the hybrids. The RAV4 hybrid is one of the most reliable systems ever built. That battery pack is warranted for 10 years but routinely lasts 15 to 20. The electric motors are sealed, maintenance-free units. No belts, no fluids, they just work. You get mid to high 30 miles per gallon in a practical SUV. That is not just efficiency, that is being disrespectful to gas prices. A 5-year-old RAV4 still commands 60 to 70% of its original price because buyers know they are not gambling, they are investing. It will not make you giggle in the corners, but when your neighbor is budgeting for their third transmission, you will be smiling at an oil change. Subaru Forester. Now things get weird in the good way. If the last SUV was boring but immortal, this one is the friend who shows up at 3 in the morning during a snowstorm to help you move a couch and somehow enjoys it. The Subaru Forester. This is not an SUV designed to impress people at stoplights or win a beauty pageant. This is an SUV designed by engineers who clearly do not trust gravity, weather, or humanity in general. Let's address the elephant in the room right now, the Boxer engine. Yes, that horizontally opposed engine everyone on the internet loves to argue about. Early 2000 Subaru engines? Yeah, we do not talk about those at Thanksgiving dinner. But here is the part people conveniently ignore. Subaru fixed those issues more than a decade ago. What we are left with now is one of the most stable, balanced, and stubbornly reliable powertrains on the road. The flat 4-cylinder engine sits so low in the chassis that the Forester's center of gravity is basically underground. That is not just good for handling. It reduces stress on suspension components, engine mounts, and literally everything bolted to the car. Because the pistons move horizontally instead of up and down, the engine naturally balances itself. Less vibration means less wear and less stuff shaking itself to death over time. These engines idle so smoothly you can balance a coin on top of them. Try that with your neighbor's shaky V6 and watch it launch into orbit. Now, let's talk about the real magic, symmetrical all-wheel drive. And no, not all all-wheel drive systems are the same, no matter what the commercials tell you. Most SUVs are front-wheel drive until things go wrong, then they panic and send power to the rear. Subaru said absolutely not and made full-time all-wheel drive standard. Power to all 4 wheels all the time. Rain, snow, mud, gravel, wet leaves, or a sketchy parking lot, the Forester just grips and goes. Subaru massively overbuilds this system. The differentials are beefy, and the CV joints are sealed tighter than Fort Knox. Subaru technicians regularly see Foresters with 250,000 miles coming in for their first CV boot replacement. Not a joint failure, just the rubber boot. That is insane in the all-wheel drive world. The transmission is a CVT, and while the internet loves to hate them, Subaru's version is tuned for survival, not performance. They overcool them because they expect you to drive in mountains and snow. If you do your fluid changes eventually, these things just keep going. You get 26 to 33 miles per gallon, which is impressive for a full-time system. Subaru did not build this cabin to impress Instagram, they built it to work. It has incredible visibility because it is shaped like a box, and the safety ratings are through the roof. The engine is even designed to drop under the cabin in a crash. A 5-year-old Forester still sells for serious money because buyers know they are not inheriting problems. They are inheriting a vehicle that is just getting started. Hyundai Santa Fe. Alright, be honest. You did not expect to see this one here. The Hyundai Santa Fe. Yeah, that Hyundai. 20 years ago, if someone told you a Hyundai would be on a list of SUVs that refuse to die, you would have laughed, locked your doors, and slowly backed away. And honestly, that was a fair reaction. Back in the late 1990s and early 2000 years, Hyundai had a reputation for being cheap and disposable. The kind of car you bought because it was affordable and then paid for emotionally later. But then something wild happened. Hyundai got serious. Like, really serious. They hired engineers away from Toyota and Honda. They poured billions into research and development. And then they did something that shook the entire industry. They slapped a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty on their vehicles. That was not just marketing, that was Hyundai saying, "We dare you to doubt us." And the modern Santa Fe is the result of that obsession. Under the hood, depending on the year, you will find either a naturally aspirated engine, a turbocharged 4-cylinder, or a V6. Every single one of them is built with a level of over-engineering that would have been unthinkable for Hyundai 20 years ago. We are talking multi-layer steel head gaskets, industrial-grade timing chains, and engine blocks designed to handle more stress than they will ever see in real life. Hyundai studied every engine failure in the industry, theirs and everyone else's, and then engineered around those weaknesses. These engines run cool, stay clean, and tolerate neglect better than they have any right to. 200,000 miles is normal now. 250,000? Not shocking. Now let's talk transmissions, because this is where Hyundai really flexed. The 8-speed automatic in the Santa Fe is smooth, conservative, and built with components rated far beyond the engine's output. No fragile dual-clutch nonsense, no experimental CVT belts pushed to the edge. Just solid, proven engineering. It shifts clean, stays cool, and does not turn your bank account into a crime scene. The chassis and suspension are where the glow-up really shows. The platform is stiff, well-isolated, and shockingly durable. Bushings do not disintegrate, and ball joints do not cry for help at 100,000 miles. Even the rust protection is top tier now, with galvanized steel used where others cheap out. Inside, it is not a budget cabin anymore. You get soft-touch materials and tech that actually keeps working after the warranty ends. Resale values are climbing fast because people are finally catching on to the secret. The Santa Fe is proof that a manufacturer can go from the bottom of the pile to the top of the reliability mountain. So, there you have it. 5 SUVs that laugh at planned obsolescence and treat massive mileage like a minor inconvenience. These are not cars you buy because they are flashy or make you look cool at the country club. You buy them because they still start when every other luxury crossover has been towed away to the mechanic. Reliability is not luck. It is an engineering philosophy. It is the difference between a car that is a member of the family and a car that is a recurring nightmare. If you are tired of endless car payments and repair bills that cost more than a small island, hit that like button right now. It helps the Auto Judge reach people who are done gambling their hard-earned money on unreliable junk. Subscribe to the channel if you want more honest, no-nonsense car content with a healthy dose of sarcasm. And do not forget to drop a comment below. Which one of these would you actually put in your garage? Or did I miss an SUV that deserves a spot on this list? Send this video to that one friend who keeps buying terrible cars and saying, "This one will be different." We both know it won't. Case closed. I will see you in the next one. This was the Auto Judge.